everybody, welcome back into Pritch's Get Stitches. We are excited you found us. Glad you're here. Holly, how you doing?
I am doing okay. It's been a decent week. It's been an interesting week, I'll put it that way, but we'll talk about that a little bit.
Well, it's been like hell degrees here as well.
Scorching hot. It's disgustingly hot here.
Yeah, I think it's been like 110 for all week, actually. Today's Friday, and it started, I think, Sunday.
Yeah, and you fooled me. You made me forget how gross and hot it gets here and convinced me to move here.
Listen, I said this a while ago. I put it on my own personal Facebook, and it was like if you're in Texas, you don't, like when you go to park, like you go to work early so that you can park under the shade tree, not so you can park closer. You know, some people want to park, I want to park the closest to the building. Nah, you want to find the tree that has the shade because it's ridiculous.
And even that doesn't help.
No. And it's nasty. You know, I told some friends, they just moved here recently, and I said, look, you think it's good to go out in the middle of the day? Like, hey, it's 108. Like, we're going to go to the pool. Like, nah, just stay home. From 1 to 5, you just stay home in the air conditioner, soak up the air conditioning. And then, after 5, go back out. Otherwise, you're going to get roasted. It's nasty.
Yeah, but it doesn't even matter because the other night it was like 95 degrees at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, it was.
So it never cools down. It's just.
Well, at least the sun's not roasting you. Like, if you're at the pool and it's 95 and the feels like is 104, which I think it was 95 at 11 o'clock, but it feels like 100.
Fair point.
Anyways, it has been a nasty week. Sure. Heat wise, like
for sure.
Scorching out there. Like,
I'm pretty sure I've melted and died no less than like 4,227 times.
How does that work with you guys? Like you ladies wearing the makeup, put makeup on, you go out, it's 110 degrees. I mean, does it melt? I have no idea how to wear makeup, so I'm not sure.
Like it'll be sweaty and gross. So that's why usually during the summer, I'd say this summer, the only time I've put on makeup is on Fridays when I'm coming over to do this podcast, or like if I'm going out on a date, then I put it on right before I leave because otherwise it's all gross by, within an hour. So. Okay.
So pants and makeup only worn on Fridays.
Correct. For the most part, excluding when we went to the game earlier this week. But otherwise I did put on pants a couple times. I lied. This week I was out of the house a little bit more despite the heat.
Okay. Yeah. You told me you were going to be Monday to Wednesday. You were going to be drunk at night.
Yes, that was the plan. Wednesday, I was supposed to meet my friend Tabitha out. She had an family emergency, so she canceled. So we rain checked, I guess. So I did end up staying in, but I did get drunk Wednesday. So, I mean, just at the house though. Drunk-ish. I won't say drunk, just drunk-ish.
Drunk-ish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so Holly, a couple of episodes ago, we talked about Jared running out of gas and being on the side of the road. And my buddy Sean, he texted me, he said, you should put that on a poll. He's like, I've never run out of gas in my life. I'm like, bloody freaking die. I've ran out twice. So I did. I put a poll up on Facebook.
And are you the only one who's ever run out of gas?
No.
Who responded?
Well, Jared's a 1. Jared's had a car for, he didn't respond because he doesn't have Facebook, but yeah, he's a 1. I'll put in there. He's had a car for 3 months and he's run out of gas already. So,
that's a record.
So we got a few votes here, and 7 people have never run out of gas.
Super responsible.
Yeah, somebody like our niece Maddie, she's never run out of gas, but does she even drive?
She does drive, and Maddie's never run out of gas. But what you should reply to her and say, how many accidents have you been in?
Maddie,
never had MRIs, I don't think, but Maddie, if you're listening.
Exactly.
We need you to comment and tell us how many car accidents you've been in, because I know you've been in. I can think of 2 off the top of my head.
Wow. Maybe that's the poll next. How many car accidents you've been in? I don't even know. I've been in so many. Like I was 15, got my first accident. Sean, of course, he said he's never run out of gas.
Of course.
These are the people though.
Sean's probably the type that fills up at 3/4. Like he never is below 3/4.
Yeah, I could see Sean. I was about to say that. Like there's certain people that like half a tank is 0. They're like, I'm at half a tank. I might run out of gas.
I will say, though, I do fill up every time I go to the grocery store because that's usually like.
Well, you go like once every 2 weeks.
Right. I eat a lot of like just random crap.
I had, the few times that I've driven your car, a couple times. I've only driven your car twice. Once we were at the baseball game and I drive you home. And the second time was during our last podcast when I stole your car. Correct. And both times have had full tanks of gas. So.
Yeah. I fill up every time I go to the grocery store, once every 2 weeks usually. So I don't drive a lot during that. So I have to use premium gas, and it usually costs me, depending on the price of gas, between 20 and 40 every 2 weeks, because it also depends on, did I wear pants this week? So if I didn't wear pants, it's closer to 20. If I wore pants, it's more like 40. Or did we drive to the baseball game? Did I go into Dallas and get lost? So, right. Every once in a while it swings a little more than 40, but.
I personally fill up my gas when it's like the light's on.
Oh, I wait. Do that.
I wait till the light is on, and then I'm like, okay.
I have 60 miles and runs out.
I give myself 30. So we have a couple of them. I said the option 2 was, so there was this one time we got a couple people, Celeste and David. And then the next option is twice.
That's you, right?
I was there.
No, you've done it more than twice though. You've done it twice serving papers.
No. I've only ran out of gas twice.
Never as a kid.
I don't think so. I got accidents and I got clutches burned out. We talked about that.
Right. But never gas.
Jacob, our nephew, he's ran out of gas twice.
That doesn't surprise me. He and Christy are pretty blonde. I could see both of them running out of gas. I'll tell you a story about Kristen. One time she lived in Idaho. I lived in Utah. She was going to come down for the weekend. And so she comes down. I don't remember if her car smelled like oil or what had happened. But before she left, she had put oil in her car and then left the cap off.
And so oil came out the top.
Comes down, oil all over the place. And I'm like, Kristen. And she's like, well, I didn't know. She's in her
I didn't know.
I didn't know. So never done that.
So then we had one. Our last option was someone has had to rescue me more than 2 times.
Did anybody select that?
Yes, our dad. Our dad. The only one. Someone's had to rescue him.
I think he's had to rescue me once. I think that's it. Just the once. Yeah. He had to rescue me though. So
we had a couple extra pop in. Rachel, our niece, said she's never run out of gas.
What?
Yeah.
That's
surprising.
super surprising. Love you, Rachel, but that is super surprising
However, her dad.
I was going to say, for any of her or her siblings or parents to have not run out of gas. Very surprising.
So her dad, one time, he had the big old diesel truck. Remember the big black one he had, big old tires?
Yep.
Well, he runs out of gas. So he calls up somebody to go get diesel and put it in. Well, with the diesel truck, and I knew this because I worked at the dealership, and I said, right, the diesels work different. If you run a diesel out of gas, you can't just put
the engine.
It doesn't seize the engine. You just can't put gas in and hope that or diesel in and hope that it starts. With a gasoline engine, you put the gas in, it goes through the fuel pump. With the diesel engine, you got water fuel separator and you've got air that gets in the lines. And now you have to have it towed to the dealership, have the fuel lines purged, the water fuel separator cleaned out. It's a whole ordeal. You definitely never, ever run a diesel engine out of diesel. It's not going to start back up. It's not going to start back up.
I had no idea. Very interesting. Good to know. I mean, not that I'm ever going to have a diesel, but good to know.
So I do need to make sure, because we have a diesel truck right now. So I do need to make sure my wife doesn't know that. But she's never run out of gas.
I was going to say, I feel like she's pretty responsible when it comes to that. I feel like you're the only one who's not.
Every time I get in that truck, I have to fill that thing up.
I see and she's the driver.
Water. I think it's your water.
I left here on Sunday on accident. Thought about that halfway home when I needed a sip.
Yep, I'm drinking it. That's what I got, water. Because I was working, today when you came over. So I didn't get a chance to go get a Dr. Pepper. And I was like, I need something because, as we talked about the last show, and we'll get to it here in a minute, we've got our spotted dick. So
that shit better be good. That's all I gotta say.
Shout out Heidi again for the spotted dick.
Does it have raisins or currants in it?
This is sultana and raisin.
I hate raisins.
I mean, this right here, I don't know about this.
It's like a fruit cup or like brown rice.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to go warm it up in the microwave, it says, for 30 seconds. So I'll do that here in a little bit. But let's jump on. Fun fact of the day.
Yeah, so this has nothing to do with anything other than I was watching an episode of The Unexplained on Netflix the other day. It's, about
aliens?
It talks about a whole bunch of different stuff, just random things. And William Shatner is the host. Rescue
911.
That's it. And this topic came up and it was just absolutely fascinating to me. And it made me think of... So our cousin used to be married to a woman who I'm actually still close with, even though they're divorced now. She and I became close when they were married, so she and I are still close. Anyway, she's a therapist. She has a patient, and she was telling me about it one time, who had what's called aphantasia. And I'm like, what is that? And she's like, so this kid can't imagine in his mind what his mother's face looks like. And I'm like, what? So I looked it up, and that just was that's how she described it. But it's like they don't have a quote unquote mind's eye. So they can't picture what a person looks like. They can't picture what a hamburger looks like, what the beach looks like.
So he's had hamburgers, I'm sure.
Right.
So he can see it and he can say, this is a hamburger. I know what it is.
Correct.
But then he eats it and he's like, I don't even remember what that thing looked like.
Yeah. They don't have a visual.
Wow.
They don't have the ability to visualize. So in their mind, when people are saying in my mind's eye, this is what I see, or when people are describing something, in their head, it's metaphorical. It's like a metaphorical statement. They can't actually see it happening in their own head.
I think that happens to me when Val has projects she wants to do around the house. She's like, so we're going to do this here and put this here. Can't you just imagine blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I've never seen that. But of course, it's like Val has Pinterested that's a word. She's been on Pinterest and has, you know, has seen all these things and has ideas. And okay, if I take some of them from here and something from here, I can put it together. This is what it's going to look like. For me, I haven't seen any of that. And so I'm like, I have trouble. Like, obviously I don't think I have aphantasia, but I just have trouble visualizing what my wife wants to do. It's usually probably because I have some sort of block in there. Like if my wife is having these ideas of projects in the house, is going to cost money. So then I put a block up and I'm like, I don't think that's going to work.
You were so cheap. It makes me laugh. Val and I were talking about the bathroom, the bathroom that you guys are going to redo.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, this is how bathroom renovations go from like 5,000 to 20,000. And she's like, Scott will die if it's that much. And I was like, girl, what you're describing right now, you might as well just prepare him, make his coffin.
She's like, I don't even want to talk about it. Anyways. So yeah, we got a bathroom remodel. I got full bids coming out of my ears right now. It's going
to happen, bro.
I just drag my feet on the financing. So
good luck. But so anyway, back to this unexplained. The concept, or I don't know what you would call it. It's called synesthesia. And so essentially it is experiencing one sense, like one of your senses through another sense. So like you're tasting color or words. Like if somebody says a color or somebody says a word, you get a taste of something in your mouth, or somebody says a word and you see green, or like you see music instead of hearing it. Or you hear sounds when you see lights. Like the whole concept's amazing to me. And it says, you know,
how much research have you done on that?
So I did a lot of research. I probably spent most of the week researching this. And then in my conclusion, I'll tell you my conclusion at the end. Okay. But they say, and there's a debate among the researchers on who it affects more as far as men or women. And they say it affects women more than men, but a lot of researchers say that there's no proof in that. What they think is that women are more willing to talk about it than men are. So a lot of studies, lean towards women.
Because women are gonna be like, oh yeah, I have this weird deal, like this weird sensation. People say it's odd, and men are like, this is how I am. It's just me. Like, I smell color. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
And I think a lot of people don't even, and what they were saying is, and it's probably that way because a lot of people don't even realize that other people don't. They don't talk about it because it's just like they think that everybody else experiences this way until there's a point where they realize, I guess, other people don't. So like growing up, they don't know how it affects kids because kids aren't going to articulate, I guess.
They're not going to realize
tasting colors, right? Because they don't know that this isn't how it's supposed to be. So lefties experience more than righties.
Oh, I'm a lefty.
I know. I was going to say, so are any of your kids left-handed, or is it just you?
It is me, a lone lefty.
And then people who experience this tend to be more artistic.
So it's definitely not me.
Yeah. You're out on that one. And they say that about 1% to 4% of the population have this condition, and it's not considered a disease or disorder. There's nothing you can do to get rid of it. It doesn't affect you negatively. And it's involuntary and seems to be genetic. But the reason I'm fascinated by this is because my goal in life is to do LSD at least once in my life. Like I want to taste color. And then I'm like, maybe I just need to develop synesthesia instead. Yeah. Because then I could taste color whatever I wanted. But I've researched LSD a lot, like just the use of it in medical studies. Like they used to do LSD to treat combat veterans with PTSD because it essentially helps them go in and opens new pathways. So even though they say like EMDR is the most successful type of therapy to use to treat PTSD back before Nixon made LSD a controlled substance or a Schedule III drug, they used to do a lot of research where they were treating combat veterans with it. And so they could do essentially like you go in with a therapist, and they're actually starting to do these studies again. There's a place in Minnesota, it's called MAPS. It's the only place that the FDA has allowed these types of studies to happen. But usually it only takes 1 or 2 times that you use this. And they not only use it for like PTSD, but people who have like high anxieties, or they've found a lot of success in cancer patients because what they found with cancer patients who have gone into remission and recovered is they have a huge fear, I guess, of death and the unknown. They just have this anxiety. Even though they've conquered death, it's still like this could happen at any point in time. And so they've done a lot of studies and therapy using like LSD or psilocybin is what it's called with cancer survivors, and it's helped them kind of deal with what they've gone through, but also get them through that fear. But anyway, synesthesia sounds a lot like LSD, so I'm totally enthralled by it. Sorry, Mom and Dad. I know you guys think that it's bad for you, but it's non-addictive, and it doesn't show up in drug tests. Not that I've done it, but
poppy seeds do.
Poppy seeds do. That is a true statement.
I'm not going to lie, kind of glazed over a little bit while you're talking.
About LSD? I mean, it's so fascinating, bro.
All that stuff. I'm like, okay. I don't know what's happening.
Color?
I watched that movie. What's that movie called about it? The movie, the guy took the drug. What's it called? Oh, well. I think they made a TV show out of it. Well, I've never taken LSD either. And in fact, I've never done any drugs. Ollie, I've never even smoked marijuana.
So yeah, they say that the color purple tastes the best, and the color orange does not taste the best.
No comment on that.
So moving on, there's a saying that I heard earlier this week, and we're moving on from the fun fact of the day.
Okay.
I was watching a documentary, and the guy says, "Coming down the pike."
Pike?
Yeah, coming down the pike. I'm like,
that's not right.
Coming down the pike. It's coming down the pipe. So I Googled it, and guess what? That man was right. All these years, 43 years, I've been saying it wrong. It is coming down the pike. And I'm like, what does this even mean?
I thought it was coming down the pipe, like pipeline, like something's coming down the pipe. Like, I don't know, in business, we talk about, you have a pipeline and, you don't want the pipeline to go dry. You always want new customers coming in, you're cultivating those relationships, and then boom, they come out the other side, prospects coming in, they come out the other side as clients. And so I've always just said coming down the pipe, but I don't know that I've ever really used that phrase very often.
I mean, they use it a lot in my job because we have a lot of stuff that we know is quote unquote coming down the pipe, as far as, hey, we know ATEC is going to implement these changes, or the big army, this is coming down, and they say coming down the pipe in emails all the time. So now I'm going to be like coming down the pike. But anyway, I was like trying to read, what does this even mean? Because in my mind, I'm like a pike, like a road. And that's exactly what it means. It's a roadway. Yeah. So a pike is a roadway with like a toll gate that connects different towns. And so it means that there's many opportunities coming, freight loads of opportunities coming. And so that man was right. Coming down the pike. I have never heard it that way.
Well, was it on a show?
It was on a documentary.
Yeah, he probably said it wrong. And then they're like, hey, just so you know. He's like, hey, we just Googled this. It's actually coming down the pike. And he's like, okay, redo it. I don't want to
redo. I mean, I would have redone it if they would have told me it was wrong. But
yeah, for sure. We redo stuff all the time on here, or we cut it out. I'm sure there's going to be segments we cut out in here because something's not right. Like, ooh, that was not right. I don't want to look like an idiot.
So coming down the pike made me think of Eat Your Cake and Have It Too. And I just had to give a shout out to Alexander Oso of Grand Rapids, Michigan, because he actually told us the true saying, which it's not you can have your cake and eat it too. It's not you can eat your cake and have it too. So what happened was there was a man who had a girlfriend and her name was Kate, and Kate had a sister named Edith. And so he's one day talking to his best friend, and he tells how he loves Kate, but he also really likes Edith and he doesn't know what to do. And his best friend looks at him and says, well, man, you can't have your Kate and Edith too. I don't know, but that made me laugh. It was totally a dad joke, but I laughed so hard when I read that. I might have been a little drunk, but I think it was very funny because you can't have your Kate and Edith too.
You can't have your Kate and Edith too. I think he was serious though. I think he was serious when he put that up there, but I did look that up, and there's like a song about that. Just FYI, I Googled it. Kate and Edith.
Kate and Edith too.
Yeah, it's a song.
But it's funny.
Yeah, you had everybody going thinking it was going to be that was a bona fide dad joke. Where did you keep that one in your database?
Oh, not your database, your dad base. Oh, man. That one made me laugh too when I told you that joke the other day.
You were cracking up.
I was cracking up. I might have sent that out to everybody because at the time it was so funny to me, dying. That's what happens when I drink. I just everything's funnier.
Okay, well, Holly, we got to get this over with. So there was a thing that I read one time, and it was it's a book by Brian. The guy's name's Brian Tracy. He does business type stuff, and he said if every day you had to wake up and eat a frog, right? Like you just had to eat the frog every day. When would you do it? And he says, do it first thing. Get it over with. Get on with your life. Because if you wait till the end, of the day, you're thinking about it all day.
I know.
Frog. So here we are.
I know. I've been trying to put everything I can.
And let me tell you, Holly knew we had the spotted dick today. And on our show notes, it's usually introduction, fun fact of the day. What are we eating? This time it was the frog was down the ways a little bit. The what are we eating is she added a few things in before that.
Just this raisins. I've been dreading this. It's even called steamed puds. That just sounds so steamed disgusting.
Puds. Yeah. Sultana and raisins. So I have to go microwave it for 30 seconds. So
okay, while you microwave it, I'm going to Google sultana because in my mind, I don't even know what this is. What is sultana? Do you know?
I don't know, but I just think of the Sultan from...
I'm thinking that and a combination of the Sultan and Santana.
Aladdin.
like the song, the guy who sings.
All right, let me go do this. Okay, Holly, we're back here. We got the steamed puds, spotted dick.
This looks terrible. You know what it looks like, though? It almost looks like the consistency of, just looking at it, like a cornbread muffin.
Yeah, so I feel like, there it is. I feel like, and somebody said that you're supposed to put something on it, like a...
Marmite.
No. Like a custard or something on it.
Because it's got custard already. It's a custard.
I don't know.
We talked about it. I told you it was like a custard something.
Okay.
Okay.
Spotted dick. Here we go. I mean, I don't. Here's the raisins. This one kind of came off the top.
With the raisins. So this will be the only time, though.
I don't feel like it'll be too bad.
I don't think it's going to be gross, though. It smells good.
It's just
the
spotted
only thing
dick.
that I don't want is, the name is spotted dick, and then I don't like the raisin aspect. But otherwise, it smells decent.
It's been a long time coming, Holly. I feel like our show, we're like, this is the finale of our show. We're never going to have to do another one.
I mean, I don't know that I'm opposed to that idea. I had to think about it.
No, we got to make your dreams come true.
But then we have to come up with something else then.
Why don't we go?
All I know is...
You could go stand on the street corner, be a panhandler. They make money. It's tax free.
Oh, I thought you meant like finale of this segment. So I'm like, we have to come up with something new.
Start over. No. So it can't be the finale of the segment, Holly, because we have to try bacon soda.
Oh, that's true. Because Ava did remind us that we were supposed to try. This is the problem. We talk about stuff, we mention shit. Then by the time the week rolls around and it's time for us to record again, we're like, we forget. But we don't remember until like 2 weeks later when you are editing late on a Sunday night so that we can post by Monday morning. And then you text me at like 11 o'clock at night and say, we were supposed to talk about this. So this is the way it goes. But we better eat this before it gets cold.
And I had all intentions of re-listening to our previous show prior to this recording to see. But I think Spotted Dick was it because we unwrapped Spotted Dick on our last show.
Right.
But
I will say, I have to say this one more time. Oh, first of all, a sultana is a grape, a white grape.
So that's a raisin,
golden
right?
raisins. Yeah. So it's probably golden and black raisins. But I have to say that this will be the only time Spotted Dick is ever in my mouth. 3, 2, 1.
Not bad. I think it would be good with like a cream on top or something.
And without the raisins?
I don't mind raisins.
Raisins are bad for your teeth.
I'm going to take a second bite.
I might take another bite too. It's kind of, because I'm trying to get down like, what is this texture? It's a weird texture though. It's like not muffiny. It doesn't taste custardy though. It's kind of custardy.
It's more dense than it is fluffy. I think.
Huh. All that hype. And it wasn't even bad. Like it was decent. Now I feel like next week, gefilte fish.
Oh no.
Yeah, we got to do.
We have bacon soda next week.
Okay, 2 weeks after bacon soda, gefilte fish. Or tuna in oil. Your choice.
Oh.
Gefilte fish.
Tuna in oil. I already have it. I need to get rid of it out of my pantry. Boy Scouts aren't coming, I don't think. Let's take
too hot. Way too hot. Yeah, so now we know. Spotted Dick.
Spotted Dick, not bad.
Spotted Dick is a food, not bad at all.
Yeah. All you British friends out there, it's all right. However, biscuits or cookies.
Still not good, and neither is Marmite, and agreed, biscuits or cookies.
Biscuits are cookies.
I was thinking about that.
Oh, probably going to say the same thing.
On TikTok where the kids were like, what is this?
Yes.
And they were like, what
biscuits?
It's a scone. It was a biscuit. And they were like, what is this? I'm like, it's a scone. And the guy's like, no, this is a biscuit.
And they had biscuits and gravy for the first time. And we're like, this is unbelievable. I'm like, hello, it's biscuits and gravy is unreal. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I did.
Anytime I go to a breakfast place and there's biscuits and gravy available, I'm getting biscuits and gravy.
You know who's that way too? Colby. Colby loves biscuits and gravy. And I'm like, bro, where do you get that from?
Dude, I love this Spotted Dick right now.
Ugh. I mean, if it wasn't for the raisins, like, could we substitute in cranberries or something different? I don't even know that I really prefer cranberries, but I feel like if we put cranberries and white chocolate chips in there, it'd be delicious.
Are you talking about like dried cranberries?
Yeah, dried cranberries, white chocolate chips.
What's the difference between craisins and raisins?
Those aren't craisins, those are raisins.
I know, but you said raisins are bad for your teeth. Wouldn't craisins be just as bad for your teeth? I didn't say
raisins. I said cranberries.
Yeah, like cranberry raisins, right?
I don't know.
Like dried cranberries?
I don't eat dried cranberries unless it's in a cookie. And then it's cranberry white chocolate. I don't know. I just know that dentists say raisins are bad for teeth. Now, granted, they say they're bad for kids' teeth, but I just take that to the next level and say raisins are bad for anybody's teeth because they're weird texture and they're grody.
You brush your teeth 10 times a day.
I do. I've brushed them 4 times already today, and before I even got here, and it was only noon when I got here. So.
Wow. I brushed my teeth twice, never had a cavity, 40 years old.
I I had a cavity once. I was 30. On my 30th birthday, not birthday, but the year of my 30th birthday, I had my first cavity. And I remember the dentist saying, well, as we get older, and then I cried. First of all, I cried because I had the cavity. But then as he said, as we get older, and I said, I'm getting older. It was a rough day. So that's been the only cavity I ever had. But he blamed it on genetics, not on my toothbrushing skills. Toothbrushing skills.
So shout out to Heidi. And last week or a couple weeks ago, you texted me and you said, hey, it was a Saturday. And granted, I'm up early on Saturdays, like 7:30. I have a meeting I go to Saturday mornings. And so I'm up, it's early. So I get home and I usually tell the kids to do their chores and then take a nap. That's kind of like my MO, unless I have stuff. Well, you texted me and you said, hey, I'm going to lunch with Heidi and Sean. Heidi and Sean, different Sean. I know a lot of Seans. So Heidi, our sister is married to Sean. Not to be confused with Sean, my best friend. Or Sean, my other best friend I had when I was a kid. Or Sean, our other ex-brother-in-law. Yeah. Anyways, you texted me. You said, I'm going to downtown Dallas, which is a good 40-minute drive for me. And you're like, we're going to go have lunch. You want to go? And I was like, well, first I ignored you because here's the thing, Holly. Back and forth, we have Android phones. So our text messages show when the other person reads it, unless you turn that feature off, which I do.
I know, it drives me nuts. So you turn it off. So I just keep texting until you respond.
Because I don't want anybody to know when I read the message. And so at first I laid down and I was like, no, I don't want to go. So I just put it aside. And then you texted me again, like, hey, are you going to go? What's going on? Anyways, I didn't go. I was like, I'm tired. I have zero desire to go down there. You're like, I'll drive. I'm like, no, you won't. I'll get down to your house. And you're like, hey, can you drive? I don't know where I'm going. And so anyways, I didn't go. But you went with Heidi and you went to Pecan Lodge. Isn't that right?
We did. It's in Deep Ellum. And it's pretty famous, Texas famous. But I think it's also nationally pretty famous as one of the best spots that you can go to for barbecue. And they basically make it and they serve until they run out. And so during busy weekends, I mean, they run out by 1 or 2 o'clock, of like whatever they run out of, because you can only smoke so much meat or whatever.
Right.
So we had talked a few episodes ago about brisket, how we're not fans. And I mentioned it seems like it's always dry. So Heidi loves brisket. She and Sean both got brisket. And I tried it. It was freaking delicious.
Was it moist?
Ugh. It was.
So I didn't know you were going to throw up in your mouth a little bit there.
I hate that word. It was, though. It was very
tender and juicy.
Easy to cut. Yeah, easy to cut, easy to chew, juicy, delicious. So, yeah, I was like, I would go here again for their brisket. Right. So there you go. Anybody in the Dallas area, you want good barbecue, get there early, but Pecan Lodge in Deep Ellum.
All right, Pecan Lodge. Well, let's shout out Pecan Lodge on our Facebook, and maybe they'll invite us down. We are always open to free food, and we will give you a good review. Okay, so that was Saturday, and then Tuesday this past week we enjoyed a Rangers game.
Yeah, I mean, I get the feeling that you probably really didn't want to go because I know crowds aren't your thing, but I know the kids really wanted to go.
I was okay. I mean, I'm not like a huge I don't want to go because listen, it was a baseball game. The stadium's huge, and it was not going to be too crowded on a Tuesday night.
It was pretty crowded, though, I think. Maybe not. It was a lot of empty seats. In my mind, it was a lot more crowded right now, but then I remembered I drank a lot. So it was probably super packed in my mind. Yeah,
you can go check out our Facebook page. We had some videos on there. And one of the videos was my kids eating a boomstick.
Yeah, which is a 2-foot hot dog, which just saying that out loud makes me just want to puke. Like, ugh. I ate one hot dog there. So every year, annually, I eat one hot dog at a baseball game because I feel like you just have to, like, that's the pastime. Like, America's pastime is not only baseball, but it's a hot dog at the game. But I hate hot dogs. Yeah, and beer for sure. But I hate hot dogs. So I never eat them otherwise. But this was my annual hot dog that I decided to eat since the kids were eating these 2-foot boomsticks. And it was Jared and Lexi. And I told them both, like, hey, I'll buy the boomstick, which was, I think, $27.
$28.
$28. And then I was like, I'll give you both $20 if you finish. So Lexi was all in from the start. As soon as she heard 2-foot hot dog and $20, she was like, done. So she got I'll say she ate way more than I thought she was going to. Like, she was determined.
She probably ate a foot and 2 inches. I mean, a foot and 4 inches. There's probably 8 inches of hot dog left. Maybe 6.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot left. And she ate it with a bun. Like, she went to town. And then originally I gave them 3 innings to eat it. But then I was like, that's kind of pushing it. So I told them they could have the whole game as long as it was done by the end of the ninth. So Jared his strategy, he ate it first the hot dog and then the bun and then the jalapenos. And
I was a little worried. Like, honestly, like dad mode kicked in and he downed the jalapenos, like a handful of them or, like a forkful. And he starts shivering. Like his body is like reacting to this. And I was like, no more. Like,
well, I felt bad because he didn't hear me say you don't have to eat the jalapenos. But then I didn't realize he was eating the jalapenos because I was like, if you finish the hot dog in the bun, I'll pay you.
So he normally eats jalapenos. Like, so from our earliest memory, and dad shares this story still quite often. He would go to Houston with me sometimes when we had a big project down there and we were serving a bunch of papers and me and dad would go together. We would have like 60 to 80 papers total. And so I would map them all out and then I would split them between he and I. And so he'd work, let's say, the south end of Houston. I'd work the north end and we'd kind of meet in the middle and eat dinner and go home. Well, Jared came with me one time and we go to Subway and dude just orders, his sandwich. And then he's like, I think he ordered like a hot Italian. So it's already kind of like spicy meat.
Right.
And then he's like, I want pepperoncinis and jalapenos. And then he got like, flaming hot Cheetos.
That's the Mexican in him.
And so I can't dad, and the kid was like 8 years old and he eats it all like barely snot coming down. I'm like, eating those jalapenos the other night because I got a foot long hot dog over there and at the game. And I had jalapenos and I'm like crying. Like the kids make fun of me because when I eat spicy stuff, I like it. I like the spicy stuff, but man, this eye right here, it just. Is
that your doll eye?
Goes. Oh, this one.
Oh, that's so creepy.
Real quick, Katy Perry, if you look her up, she can do the same thing. And people were saying it was like, she's a robot, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, I just have this eye. I can do that.
She has a doll eye.
So she did it at her show. So
it's gross.
Anyways. So Jared, he ate those jalapenos and I think that like he knew you said he didn't have to, but then the people next to us were like cheering him on. The people in front of us were cheering him on. They're like, Jerry, like they couldn't believe it. The dudes next to us like could not believe that Jared was going to eat this, 2-foot hot dog. They're like, we've been watching him all game. They're probably like 8 or 10 seats down, but there's nobody in between. Like
120 pounds soaking wet. Like the kid is, and he's more than that because of muscle, but if he didn't have muscle.
Yeah, he's 130 pounds with muscle, like straight muscle. Right. He's probably 4% body fat.
Like Val calls them pretzel sticks for his legs because he's so skinny.
His arms and legs look like pretzel sticks.
But we had that whole section just chanting his name and cheering him on. And I think that just was like motivating. He took those jalapenos in.
But I told him done. I said done. Like he started shivering. He's like, it's just that my body is like, my stomach's like on fire. I'm like, done. Don't eat anymore. And he takes after Val. He can't throw up. So I can throw up pretty good. I learned on my mission actually to throw up. Really quietly, if that makes sense. So I would send a Samoan ward and a Tongan ward or congregations, and I would have to eat the food and they would just keep feeding us. And I eventually learned I have to keep a little bit on my plate. Otherwise they'll load my plate back up. Well, before I learned that, it was not appropriate for me to not eat the food. So I would learn to like literally the food, Holly, would be here. Ooh. And I would throw up, not like to eliminate all the food out of my body because I had gained weight because I love food. But I could like open my mouth and like just a little bit to come out, just enough so I could eat dessert. It was crazy. So so Jared, he can't throw up like I can.
Right. Do you remember when I was a kid, the one time and I was really sick and I didn't want to throw up because my thing is I don't like to throw up. And my face turned bright red and I got all these because I was holding it back and mom kept saying throw up. But I wasn't. And my face turned bright red and I had white splotches, white dots all over my face.
Probably like busted vessels. That's what happens to Val when she throws up. Her blood vessels pop in her face and her eyes.
Yeah.
It's really bad. Chad, though, he can throw up. There was that time at Kmart. There's a time at Kmart.
Twice. Grammy?
Yeah, Grammy's waving me on. She's waving to me. And he threw up.
When the pee shot out of his nose.
And we were just talking about that. So he threw up in my Dr. Pepper cup.
Your Dr. Pepper cup.
And then left it on the shelf.
Luckily, he did put the lid back on, though.
But then the time that he was on the couch and in the living room and he's like, oh, I'm going to throw up. And he goes like this and it's like.
Shot at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Jerry won $50 out of that. Jerry won $50 out of the boomstick. I did feel bad. I only paid Lexi $15 and I thought, you know what? I should probably go in and pay her a little bit more.
Well, you did go from 20 to 50.
I know. And that was my mind not thinking because I was like, well, she's lucky she's getting anything because I said, you only get it if you eat it. But I probably will give her a few more bucks. Because I was thinking about that. She put in a valiant effort.
Yeah, she did. She got it all over herself. Chili cheese all over
Olivia's jersey, all over her face.
She did come home and wash it, thankfully.
Did the cheese come out?
I think so. Well, I scrubbed it out. She just threw it in and went to bed. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So it's kids though. But Jared, the next morning, Jared gets up and he's like, he had to skip his strength and conditioning in football camp because he's like, I can't, like my stomach
Poor
hurts
kid.
so bad.
He was probably so sick. But the guys next to him who were cheering him on they caught a foul ball. They gave him the ball.
Yep. They said, you deserve this, man. So
he got the ball, and then, like a good brother he is, he gave it to Jace, who had been waiting all game to catch something.
Two games worth of
waiting. Games. We didn't even get like a home run or anything out in our direction. They all went the other way.
Yep.
And I thought for sure we'd get something out there. That's why I was like, oh, we'll get these seats because that's a better chance of Jace being able to catch that home run. But poor kid. But he loved the ball, though. You wouldn't have known that he didn't catch that ball.
Oh, yeah.
How excited he was over Jerry giving it to him. So
I don't know where it's at, but I'm sure it's somewhere special.
Well, at one point, though, I got up to go take the girls to get food or something.
Yeah.
And so I've got the beer in my hand. So I always buy two because then I don't have to wait in line. And I also didn't realize that at the very top of our level was going to be a beer stand with my beer. So when we first got there, I bought two. I set the beer in the back of the seat in front of me, on the cup holder. And as I'm getting ready to leave, I tell JC, JC, you are the guardian of my beer. Don't let anybody do anything to it. Don't let him kick it. Don't let anything happen. So I come down. This may have been actually my third or fourth beer in now that I think about it. And I come back down with the girls, and as soon as I sit down, JC looks at me, goes, the man in front of you put his fingers in your beer. And it's a whole beer. And so I'm like, do I drink this beer? I said, what do you mean he put his fingers in it? He's like, well, he reached back to put his arm around and put all his fingers right into your beer.
Did you drink it?
I mean, because then I'm like, well, alcohol kills everything, right? So it's self-killing. Killed any bacteria? I mean, I didn't get sick. And then I was like, that's $16 a beer? No.
Well, you got me a Coke Zero, and I was like, you asked the same question. You're like, hey, you have a Coke Zero. Somebody puts their fingers in, you don't see it. They just put their fingers in. Do you drink it? I'm like, well, after everything Coke, you told me Coke can do, absolutely. I mean, probably his fingers are probably disintegrated.
It's like acid.
Yeah.
So I just drank that beer and didn't think about his fingers being in my beer because I was like, it's self-killing. It's alcohol. Bacteria is gone.
That stuff never really bothers me. People are so concerned about germs and oh my gosh, I have no appetite to eat that. I'm like, hand it over here. I'll eat it. I don't know if that's it's the dad in me now or what, but
so what about potlucks? Do you eat?
Oh yeah, food looks good. I'll eat it.
Oh, see, no, I don't know what that person's kitchen looks like. You eat it, even though what if they have cats walking around?
Oh, funny story about that. I'll tell you a story about that. But however, you just have to look. You just have to look inside. I'm always cautious of what I'm eating. But I'm like, I've eaten at so many potlucks in my life because everything is a potluck at church. And I'm just like, whatever. I haven't died yet. And if I don't like it, I just leave it on my plate, throw it away. Who's going to know? But
well, when we used to go to potlucks as a kid, at church, I would always find out what all my friends, whose houses I had been to. Okay, Chandler's, I know their house is good. Sterl's, I know their house is good. I would find out whose house, who made what, where's your dish, where's our dish. And that's what I would eat. Because everybody else, I'm like, I don't know.
Well, Mom's kind of the same way. She will only eat her own food. And I didn't realize that until, I kind of brought it up. But Mom was always first in line at the potluck.
She would inch towards when she knew the prayer was coming. She's in line. She
wanted her own food. And I think that's what it was. And
I think the thing was too, everybody else wanted her food because she was such a good cook that everybody's like, what's Sister Pritchard bring? And so she had to get in line first to get all of her own food before everybody else got it.
Yeah, I just get whatever. I'm always last in line. I'm always talking to somebody and I'm just whatever, what's left. And then I'll eat hopefully somebody brings donuts. Val usually brings donuts. No matter what we're doing.
When I used to have to go to work into Utah, we would do potlucks every once in a while. And I found out. So I have somebody else on my team. Her name is Holly also. And she also won't eat potluck food. And so we would have potlucks and she and I would just be sitting there talking and chatting. And so one day I said something. And so I hired her and her sister-in-law on my contract, but they're also they grew up together, best friends. I think a brother married a sister or something. So they've been best friends since 7th grade. Yeah. Then married brothers or sisters or whatever the situation happened. So they're kind of related also. So anyway, I'm sitting there talking to Amy and Holly and I said something about her not being hungry. And Amy's like, oh, she doesn't eat potluck food. I was like, girl, me neither. I just can't do it. She's like, I don't know if they got cats. I'm like, boom, that's it. I have neighbors bringing food over. I ain't seen your counter. They bring over cookies. Those cookies go in the trash. I don't ever eat. Dugway, when I moved there, lady brought over some cookies to me and she was a good cook. And I still was like, no, this is before I had seen her house. So then I was like, nah, I threw those cookies in the trash. Plus, I don't know if you're trying to poison me.
Nobody's trying to poison you.
I don't know. I have watched some true crime where that happens. You never know, bro.
Okay, so 2 stories on that. First of all, when we lived in McKinney before we moved here to Prosper, we would get Uber Eats was kind of fairly new. And I don't even know if it was Uber Eats that brought it or what. But we would get food to our house brought by Uber Eats or whatever I don't know if the people were putting in the wrong address. I don't know if they were trying to poison us and, so they just dropped the food off. But one time we get Texas Roadhouse and the person leaves the food and we stopped her and we said, hey, like, we didn't order this. I'm like, well, it's got your address. I can't take it anywhere else. I think we called the Roadhouse and they didn't really know anything. So we opened it up and ate it. And after I did that, I realized, like, we didn't order this food. We don't know who this person was that just dropped it off to our house. Now, granted, it was in bags and, whatever, but still, I'm like, that probably wasn't a smart idea. Like, who knows anything about this food? Like, nobody knew about it. Nobody knew anything about it. And here we are chowing down.
So this reminds me of a true crime story I watched. You ever heard of thallium poisoning?
No.
So thallium is a chemical and it's a very painful death, prolonged. So there was a family and they had some neighbors and the neighbors hated them. And at one point, whatever the situation, however it worked out, there was a 6-pack of Coke, like bottled Coke, left on the porch. And so the family brings it in and it like had some random card on it. Well, the neighbor was a chemist, again, hated this family. He had unscrewed the lids, laced it with thallium, put the lid back on. And so like 4 out of the 5 family members drank the Coke. 2 of them died. Like, it causes hair loss. It causes all of these issues, like all of this stuff. And then they were able to say, like, the 5th person didn't get sick. They were able to say, like, what was common that everybody ate or drank? It happened to be the Coke. They ended up finding it was thallium poisoning. So I'm just going to put that out there. I'm just going to leave that there. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I'm not dead. So
yeah.
Second story, when I was on my mission in LA and I go to this old lady's house and they feed them. People in the congregation feed the missionaries. And you never knew where you were going, what you were going to get. And we go to this old lady's house and she makes tamale soup. And let me tell you, had to be the worst meal I've ever had. One of them.
Because it just didn't taste good?
It didn't taste good. It was like, here's the ingredients. I'm just going to put it in and then add some cornstarch or something, like cornmeal, not cornstarch, but cornmeal. And it was just gritty and like nasty. Okay. It was like the maize they use like to make tamales. And it was just thrown into the soup.
So she didn't like use it to cook or anything. She just stuck it in as
like, yeah, it was so bad. So you were already like, weird. Oh, like this is horrible. Well, then I dig in the green beans. Now, granted, her house, like we were kind of eating in the kitchen area and she had cats and those cats were up and down on the up, down the whole night. And so I am talking to her. I just reach in, grab some green beans, put the green beans on my plate. Didn't even look, didn't even think about it. Like, because we didn't grow up around cats. I didn't really know anybody who had cats. Like the Chandlers had cat, but
did they?
Yeah, they had a cat. One time I was rubbing petting it and I went down to its tail and then my hand smelled like poop and had poop all over its tail. Anyways, I never liked cats and that just solidified it for me. Anyways, my mission companion like kicks me under the table as I'm about to eat these green beans. And I'm like, dude, what? And like, he kicked me pretty hard. So I'm like, what? He's like, don't eat those. And so she had turned around to go back into the kitchen. He's like, don't eat those. I'm like, what? Don't eat what? He's like, the green beans, don't eat them. Look at them. And I look down and it's covered in cat hair. Like, see? 8 or 10, 20 of them just in these green beans. I'm like, yep, not going to eat those. Slid them around on my plate and rolled on. That was disgusting. So tamale soup mixed with cat laced green beans.
That's just why I can't do it. I cannot. Somebody else's house is. I don't even know what to say to that.
It was disgusting. It was gross. I wanted to throw up. It was bad. Ugh.
Gross.
Don't even want to talk about it anymore.
So I have to say, I mentioned earlier that it's been an interesting week.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to tell you. So this is going to be my Pritch Please segment.
Please.
I was catfished.
Uh-oh. You were catfished. I'm going to call you Manti. Manti Teo.
Right. I was 100% catfish yesterday. So I've been talking to this dude and I'm like, okay, he's pretty handsome. Okay. Like, I will say, like, I wasn't sure I believed he was 35 based on his pictures. I was like, I feel like you're probably like 45, which is still in my dating range. So we agree we're going to meet up at Starbucks. I go. And so I get there before him. So I text and I'm like, hey, what do you normally get when you go to Starbucks? And he's like, water. And then I'm like, why are we meeting at a Starbucks? Like, you get water. Why are we meeting here? I don't even, like, I drink coffee, but not from Starbucks. So anyway, I'm like, okay, whatever. So he's like, oh, normally I get a Pellegrino. I'm like, great. They don't have Pellegrino. I get whatever water they have for him. I get a chai tea latte. I find the only open table in the Starbucks. I sit down, and probably like 5 minutes later, this guy comes and sits at my table. And I start to tell him like, hey, like you've got the wrong table. I'm not who you think. And he starts talking to me and says like, oh, you look, just like your pictures, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what is happening? This dude. And it's not like, okay, so I went on a date once with a guy who his pictures were him from 60 pounds ago. Like definitely him, but old pictures. But I could tell, okay, this is the same guy. No, this dude, I'm 100% sure that whatever pictures he used, whatever pictures of this man, like it was not him. There was no similarity. And I'm like, okay, like I don't know what to say at this point. So he just starts, so I'm going to roll with it because I'm like, that's fine. I've got my coffee. We'll sit here. We'll chat. It'll be 30 minutes of my time. And at the end, I'll tell him, hey, it's not going to work out. But then he has the audacity to say during the date, what would you have done if I would have catfished you? Like if I walked in and was like 5'4" and like 400 pounds or whatever, and I'm thinking like, bro, you did catfish me. Like, this is not you.
Did you say that?
I didn't, because it was like, this is so weird. It was like, I'm in a parallel universe. I don't know what's happening right now. It was like, I didn't even know what to say at that point. Like, I think I just changed the subject to like, let's get through these 30 minutes. Cause he was like, yeah, I'm going to this bachelor party this weekend, gonna go meet up with the boys later tonight. So I've got like 30 minutes of free time. So I was thinking in my mind, like, this is gonna be 30 minutes, like not a big deal.
You should have called him out. That would have been fun.
I mean, I think I was just so like, oh, people really do this. But whenever I hear about like catfishing, it's always like they never show up, or like Manti Te'o, like he never met her. There was always reason, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, this dude showed up and I'm like, what is happening? Like alternate universe, this dude looks nothing. Like I'm trying to find similarities. Like at one point he gets up to use the restroom. I go back into the app real quick and I look at the pictures and I'm like, yeah, no, this is not the dude. It was weird, but the fact that he brought up, what if I catfished you? Like now I think, is this like a prank show? Like is something happening where he wants to say like, to see like who says like,
where's Ashton Kutcher? Where's Ashton? Where is he?
Right. Like, so then like we're getting ready. And here's the thing I hate. Like I always tell every guy from the start, like, like, hey, if there's no spark, like I'm not going to waste your time. I don't want you to waste mine. Right. If there's no spark. But what I hate is when you're getting, because this guy did it. And this is how it's been said to me several times, like you're getting ready to go and you're like, hey, like it was great to meet you. Like, I don't want to tell you face to face, there's no spark. It's just uncomfortable. Right. But then they're like, so what did you think of this date? And I'm like, who does that? Like, who says that? When you went on dates before dating apps, that was never a question that somebody would ask. Like, usually we'd say like, hey, this was great. Or you say like, hey, it was great to meet you. And then you leave and then later. But it was weird. And like at the end, he ends up texting me, like I get home. He ends up texting me pretty quickly after, like, I can't remember what he said. And then I said like, like, hey, just want to let you know, like, it was nice to talk with you, but there's no spark. I wish you the best of luck. And immediately unmatched and blocked him. Cause I'm like, I don't even know what just happened. Like what is happening?
So I mean, he was, I assume he's a black guy because he liked black guys, but he wasn't like a white guy that walked in. It was
no, I mean, it was a black man, but it was nothing like the black men in the pictures that I saw. And it was very, very weird. Like,
it was like me, where if I had hair and no beard and then I walked in with bald and beard, like, was it like that? It could have been that way.
So in the picture, he was bald and with a beard, like his pictures. And then he walks in, he's got no beard, his hair, like he has hair. It was weird. I'm just like, this isn't even like, you didn't even like try to look like the picture, like grow a beard out or something. It was very random and weird. And then, but
then he asked you like,
but then he's
what
like,
if I
catfished you? And I'm like,
I think he was probably going for that. Like he was going for you being like, you kind of did.
I did. Well, and I think now that I think about it, I think I countered with saying like, I really don't know what I do, but I think I look very much like my pictures. Like all of my pictures are recent and I feel like I look the same in my pictures as I do in real life.
He's like, those were from high school.
And he's like, well, I got to go to the bathroom. No, it was definitely not. Like it was.
That's crazy.
It's like his best friend from high school, like totally different dude. Like it would be like Sean posting a picture of you and then showing up as Sean. Like, that's what is happening? It was so weird. And then there was another guy who I'd gone out with earlier in the week and he sends me a text and he's like, hey, I thought maybe we can meet up tonight. I was like, yeah, cool. Like we'd had a good date the last time. He's like, yeah, how about 9:30? And I'm like,
you got 40 years old.
9:30
in the morning, 9:30 a.m.
Like coffee tonight, 9:30. Like, first of all, 9:30. Who does that? So then I'm like, am I alone in this? So I like send a text out, to all my girlfriends, and I'm like, and every single one of them is like, how old is this man? Like they're all like, who asked somebody to go out at 9:30 at night? Like I was like, yeah, no, bro, that's not going to happen. That's just too late. Like
on a weekday?
Not even on a weekday. Like any day.
No, what I'm saying, was it a weekday?
Yeah, it was last night. He wanted to go out last night at 9:30. So here's the thing. So I texted Karen, and Karen's like, it's one thing if I'm already out and then it hits 9:30. I'm like, exactly. Like if it's 7:00, we go out on this date, because when he and I went out the other night, we met at 7:30 and we were out together till like midnight, just hanging out, having some drinks. It was a good night, but I was already out. There's very little reason that I am leaving the house
after
past 8 p.m. And I'm definitely not putting pants on for anybody after 9. Like, you've lost your goddamn mind if you think 9:30.
Yeah,
I just couldn't get over it. And Elizabeth's like, how old are these people? And I'm like, mid 30s to like late 40s. And then I'm thinking, I definitely couldn't be a cougar. Like, if these dudes are at 9:30 and they're 30s to 40s, like 20-year-olds are going to be like, yo, 11 o'clock, let's go. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, I can't, like, there's very, very few times I'll go out. Like, you're getting home at 9:30. I gotta go to bed, man. I'm tired. Like, we passed that. We passed that.
That's it. Like by 9 o'clock. And listen, I have insomnia. It's like I start getting into bed between 9 and 10. Like, I'm not getting out of that bed. I may be wide awake till 1 a.m., but I'm not getting out of that bed.
No, I'm not leaving. So
No.
every once in a while, I'll have a hankering for some ice cream. And so I'll text one of my buddies that lives here in the neighborhood, so I don't have to go very far to pick them up. And I'm like, sometimes it's my neighbor, next door neighbor. Sometimes it's, somewhere around, and I'll say, hey man, let's go to Brahms and pick up some ice cream. So we'll go, because they're open till 10:45. So that's it. But I'm like,
Nah.
And that's every like once a quarter.
That's it. There is and it was funny because I was telling that. So I have two of my girlfriends, Erica and Shala, and we've all been friends since our 20s. And we have a texting group. I call it the Bad Bitches. And so I had sent that to them. And Erica's response was kind of like yours. She was like, girl, I ain't leaving the house past 8. She's like, unless it's like I need some Whataburger or something, I'm hungry.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I'm not leaving. And I'm like, exactly. And if I'm going to Whataburger, like I'm throwing on like sweats and
I'm getting ready.
Right. Like, I'm not putting in effort. Like, my hair can be crazy. I don't care. I'm going to Whataburger. Like, I don't know. So I definitely am thinking like, okay, my cougar years, I'm going to have to be 60, because at least by the time I'm 60, I can go after these 40-year-old men. And then maybe by then they're going to be like, oh, they're going to agree with me. Like 9:30 is too late. And then I'll be like, hey, let's have dinner. And it's 4:30 and I'm good with that because I'm 60 and 4:30 is it's acceptable dinner time. Right. Yeah. But yeah, like so that's my Pritch Please segment.
Yeah, so when I'm eating ice cream, the first thing I do is go see if we have any Fruit Loops. Because if we have Fruit Loops, I can get away with, okay, I don't need to leave. I'll just eat the Fruit Loops, and then I'll be good.
That's not even anything like ice cream.
I know, but it's delicious. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'll eat the Fruit Loops instead of leaving to go get ice cream. But usually we don't have Fruit Loops, so that's when I usually do. Like, all right, let's go to Brahms.
I was going to say, I don't think I've ever seen Fruit Loops in my life at your house.
Well, we have Fruit Loops. I just had them for breakfast.
Fruit Loops and they're gone. Gross.
I just had them for breakfast. I had a midnight snack the other night. They're not the Fruit Loops, though. They're the Aldi brand.
Do you prefer so you said Brahms. Do you ever go for like soft serve ice cream?
So I said Brahms because they're open the latest. They're open till 10:45. So I mean, I could go like Dairy Queen closes at 10. Listen, I know when they close. The only other ones open like Whataburger, where I could get a Dr. Pepper shake. But usually Brahms is pretty good. I don't mind soft serve. And funny you should bring that up. The other day I didn't text you this because I wanted to get your reaction. And so Brahms has dip ice cream, like real ice cream.
Baskin Robbins ice cream.
Mm-hmm. But they also have a soft serve. But so this is from Eat This, not that. No, eatthis.com.
Okay.
And it says the 8 chains that serve the best soft serve ice cream. Number 8 is Sonic, which I like their soft serve.
I don't know that I've ever had ice cream from Sonic. Next.
What?
No, bro. That's cheapy ice cream. I'm a snob. I go for like Marble Slab or Cold Stone or Baskin Robbins.
But that's not soft serve. Okay, number 7.
I said I don't do soft serve. That's not real ice cream. That's
number 7. Number 7, Tasty Freeze. I don't even know where that's at.
Never had that.
Alaska, Arizona, California, Florida, Illinois, and North Dakota. Okay.
Okay.
6 is Chick-fil-A, which I was.
I have had Chick-fil-A. Their Ice Dream. It's not called ice cream. Ice Dream, but that's not great. I love Chick-fil-A and everything about Chick-fil-A. I rarely will get their Ice Dream.
Number 5, I've never had, and I couldn't tell you the last time I had any food from this place either. But Burger King, 5.
Never had it either, and never. I can't remember last time I had Burger King either.
I thought this one was kind of low on the list. Number 4, McDonald's. I do love me some McDonald's.
I think it's probably so low because freaking McDonald's ice cream machines are always broken.
That's true, but I do love it when they have
machines or ice cream. I will say McDonald's has decent.
So number 3, Mom and Dad would say is number 1.
Dairy Queen better not be number 3.
Jason's Deli.
Oh, I mean, Jason's Deli does have.
It's free. That's why.
It's free.
That's why Mom likes it.
And it's free. Decent. Yep.
Number 2, Dairy Queen.
No, that's a lie. I don't care what you say is number 1. Dairy Queen is number 1.
And listen to this. Any guesses?
Dipped cone.
Any guesses?
Wendy's?
Wendy's number 1. Wendy's number 1. Frosty.
They do ice cream. That's a Frosty. No, it's a Frosty.
It's ice cream.
It's not. You can't put a Frosty in an ice cream cone. It is not the consistency
It's
of
soft serve.
No, it is a Frosty. You cannot put that in an ice cream cone and eat it because it's not cold enough to be considered ice cream. So I disagree with that list. Nope, it's a Frosty. Dairy Queen is definitely number one. I take it back. Okay. I will get Dairy Queen all day long. A Blizzard, a chocolate dipped cone. I love me some Dairy Queen.
So Brahms. So good. So Brahms is up there in the like if you do something, you can do stuff like that. Like you can get Blizzard type things over at Brahms. But they're up there with, they're not necessarily soft serve. I wouldn't go to Brahms for their soft serve.
I'm not going to lie. I've never been to Brahms.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that there's a Brahms by my place. Oh, you know what? I have been to Brahms.
Pretty sure there is.
I haven't been to it in years though, since I lived in like College Station. Because sometimes when mom and dad would come down, there was a Brahms somewhere.
I don't know if they go down that far.
Or maybe it was when we would go.
I think the furthest south
when we would go to Texarkana.
Yeah.
I think we would meet halfway, like whenever we were picking Heidi's kids up or whatever the deal was. I just remember Brahms in my mind is associated to Heidi. So Heidi, I need you to go onto our video and leave a comment as to why I associate Brahms with you. It had to have been like there was one in College Station. We ate there somewhere.
There's not one in College Station. I think the furthest south is Hillsboro, actually, I think.
Well,
because it's Oklahoma based. And so they make their ice cream and they have to be able to transport it that day.
Got it. So whatever the reason, I haven't had Brahms though since like probably college.
Okay.
Maybe even earlier than that. But I typically go for, there is a Baskin Robbins, a Cold Stone, and a Marble Slab all within half a mile of my house. And I will say like, I've been real disappointed in the Marble Slab that is around the corner from me. So I haven't, and that was always my favorite, even more so than
I think there's one coming up over here by Kroger, my house.
Well, the one by my
Cold
house.
Stone. Cold Stone.
Oh, I do love me some Cold Stone. The coffee lovers, and you add coconut. Dear God, amazing. So good.
I did sign up for Swig's app. We go get Swig quite often.
You're just paying a bunch of money for a Coke that you could go get the same.
It actually
thing.
wasn't too expensive. Actually, I don't.
They're
think
like $8.
But their cookies were good. All right, Holly, we need to close it out. But I'm in closing it out. I'm going to go through some rapid fire here with you.
Okay.
And this is from movieweb.com. 10 classic movie quotes we still use today.
Okay, you know that I don't watch movies, so this will be difficult. But
yeah, you'll know where these are. I won't make you say the movie. If you know the movie, it's a bonus, but see if you can finish the quote.
Okay.
Say hello
to my little friend, Scarface.
Yes, Scarface, good. That's 10.
That was Bill Miller's favorite movie.
Number 9, Houston.
We have a problem, Apollo 13.
Yep. Number 8, you complete.
Me, Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
Never saw it.
It was only three words there, so I had to give it away. Okay.
Yeah. You know, I've never seen Jerry Maguire.
Why? Because of Tom
Cruise? There's a list of actors who I hate. Tom Cruise and Renee Zellweger in the top 5. So I don't ever watch anything with them aside from Tom Cruise in Top Gun. Bridget Jones's Diary out. All my friends are like, how do you not like that? I'm like, her, Sandra Bullock, Tom Cruise, Keanu Reeves, Nicolas Cage, all out. Okay, go ahead. Next.
All right, number 7, go ahead.
Make my day. Terminator?
Sudden Impact.
Oh, never seen it.
Lenny Eastwood, me neither.
Oh, yeah.
All right, all I have to do is say the first. I won't even have to say that. I don't think the first full word. Maybe. Frank.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
There it is.
Gone with the Wind.
And You Had Me.
At Hello, Jerry Maguire. Why are they in 2? Why is Jerry Maguire in 2? This is crap.
There's no
Crying in Baseball. I was going to say I in Team, and then I'm like, wait a minute. No Crying in Baseball. I use that one all the time. That's one of my favorite. There's no Crying in Baseball, and go read some books.
Read some books.
Those are my 2 favorite quotes.
What movie? You didn't say them?
Come on now. Look at their own.
All right.
Definitely know that one.
You're Killing.
Me Smalls, Sandlot.
Yeah. As You.
Just kidding. Haven't seen it in a long time, though. As You Wish, Princess Bride, one of my all-time faves.
And the number 1, there's no place. You'll
like home?
Yep.
Wizard of Oz?
You know them all. 10 for 10.
I did know them all. 100%. Well,
I wonder if our listeners.
Yeah, I mean, I did get the quotes. I missed the sudden impact.
You did miss sudden impact. So I wonder, go ahead.
What is the thing the Terminator says?
I'll be back.
Oh, I'll be back. My bad. I was thinking Make My Day.
All right. So if you listen to this, if you got all the way through this show, you listened to that and let us know your score. So there were 20 possible answers because you had the quote and you had to name the movie. So let us know how you did. Put it up on
19 out of 20.
You were 19 out of 20. Yeah.
19 out of 20. That's not bad considering I haven't watched a movie in years.
Yeah. Well, those were all old movies. Movies and some that we've watched, obviously. And then the Jerry Maguire ones are ones that, are very popular.
Everybody knows. Right.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here with us today. Holly, I finished The Spotted Dick. Mine is all gone.
Wow, I feel like though you would finish anything that I stuck in front of you.
I'll probably, well,
You'll
not
probably
Marmite.
eat my spotted dick.
I was saying it just now. I will not eat Marmite. I might eat tuna and oil, depending.
We're going to do gefilte fish. Good. I think that you might enjoy it.
All right. Well, for sure, bacon soda next week. I don't even know if we have bacon soda, honestly. We may have drank the bacon one. I'll have to go back and see which ones we have. We did dirt and we did olive. We did
olive, and I feel like we did the bacon.
We did chicken wing, I think.
Did we do the zit popper?
No, we have pimple popper. We'll go look at them. That'll be fun. All right, guys. Thanks for being in with us, and we will see you next time.
See ya.
Hey, what's up, my channel? Please hit the drop a like and hit the subscribe button. Looking for my first subscriber. Can't subscribe myself. Can't do that for some reason. I don't know why. Wish you could.